Run. Don't think, don't scroll, don't compare. Run. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, you are already in a race. Not against your friends, not against your colleagues, not against the loud voices on social media. No, you are in a race against a version of yourself that is either getting stronger or getting weaker every single day. And the scary part, you don't get to pause it. There's a man, I'll call him Darian Cole. No spotlight, no applause, no audience. Just a quiet room, a cracked wall, and a clock that wouldn't stop ticking. Every morning, 4:30 a.m. Not because he felt like it, but because he understood something most people don't. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your habits. Darian wasn't born ahead. No wealthy background. No connections. No shortcuts. Just pressure, just doubt, just noise. And one decision. To stop competing with the world. And start confronting himself. Listen carefully. Because this is where most people lose. Not in the marketplace. Not in the competition. But in the quiet moments. When no one is watching. When the alarm rings. And you negotiate with comfort. When the work gets hard. And your mind whispers, you've done enough. That's the battlefield. That's where champions are decided. Darian used to lie to himself. I'll start tomorrow. I just need motivation. Others have it easier. Sound familiar. But one day, something snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just a quiet realization. Every excuse I make is building the life I don't want. So he changed the rules. No more blaming his past. No more blaming his environment. No more blaming luck. Because here's the truth most people avoid. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends. Not your family. Not some perfect opportunity. If your life changes, it will be because you changed it. And that's uncomfortable. Because it removes the last place you can hide. Let me ask you something. When you look at your life right now, are you proud of your daily actions? Not your dreams. Not your intentions. Not your potential. Your actions. Because the version of you from 5 years ago is watching. And the version of you 5 years from now is depending on what you do today. Darian stopped comparing himself to others. Not because he didn't see them winning, but because he realized something dangerous about comparison. It either makes you arrogant, or it makes you insecure. And both will destroy you. So he created a new opponent. Yesterday's version of himself. Yesterday distracted. Today focused. Yesterday inconsistent. Today disciplined. Yesterday comfortable. Today uncomfortable but growing. That's the only competition that matters. If this is already hitting you, don't just watch. Hit that like button right now. Drop a comment, I choose discipline. Because this isn't just a video. This is a decision point. Now let's talk about pressure. Because everyone says they want success. Until it starts to hurt. Darian hit a wall. Fatigue, doubt, frustration. Days where nothing worked. Days where quitting felt logical. And that's where most people fold. But he trained his mind differently. He didn't run from pressure. He used it. When his body said stop, he asked, can I go one more step? When his mind said quit, he replied, not yet. Because mental toughness isn't loud. It's not motivational quotes. It's quiet decisions repeated under stress. Let's destroy a myth right now. Success is not built on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline, that stays. Darian stopped asking, "Do I feel like working?" and started asking, "Is this what needs to be done?" That shift changes everything. Because now your feelings don't control your actions. Your standards do. Every day became a system. Wake up, work, refine, repeat. No applause, no validation, no shortcuts. While others were scrolling, he was studying. While others were partying, he was practicing. While others were talking, he was executing. And slowly, quietly, he started changing. Not overnight, but undeniably. Here's something most people misunderstand. Success doesn't build character. It reveals it. The real character is built in. The days you don't feel like it. The moments no one sees. The effort no one applauds. Darian didn't chase recognition. He chased standards. Because he knew, if I become the kind of person who deserves success, success becomes inevitable. Let's talk about time. Because this is where people quietly fail. You say you don't have time. But check your screen time. Check your habits. Check your distractions. Darian tracked everything. Every hour. Every decision. Not to impress anyone, but to expose the truth. And the truth was uncomfortable. Wasted time. Low-value actions. Mindless habits. So he cut them. Ruthlessly. Because every minute you waste is a vote for the life you don't want. And yes, it cost him. Friends stopped calling. Invitations stopped coming. People started saying, "You've changed." And he had. Because growth requires separation. You can't stay the same and expect a different life. So he embraced it. The loneliness, the discipline, the discomfort. Because he understood something powerful. Being normal will give you a normal life. Now listen closely. Because this might be the most important part. There will come a moment where everything in you wants to stop. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. And in that moment, you have two choices. Go back to comfort, or step forward into growth. Darian chose growth. Not once, not twice, but every single time it mattered. And that's what separated him. If you're still watching, it means something inside you is waking up. Don't ignore it. Subscribe now, because the second half of this will change how you see yourself completely. And comment, no more excuses. Make it real. Let's talk about pain. Because nobody tells you this part honestly. Pain is not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're growing. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices. That's the price. Darian stopped asking, "Why is this so hard?" and started saying, "Good." Because if it's hard, it means it matters. If it's uncomfortable, it means you're evolving. If it demands everything from you, it means it has the power to change your life. But here where it gets even deeper. Because discipline alone isn't enough. There's a level beyond this. A level where Even when you're tired, you execute. Even when you're doubted, you rise. Even when everything is against you, you become unstoppable. And that's where most people break. Or transform. You're tired. Good. Stay there for a second. Feel it. That weight in your chest. That voice in your head saying, "This is too much." That's the moment. Not the highlight. Not the applause. Not the victory speech. This moment. Right here. Because this is where people split. Not into winners and losers, but into those who continue, and those who convince themselves to stop. Darian Cole understood something dangerous about this moment. Your mind will always try to protect you from growth. It will tell you, rest a little longer. You've done enough. You deserve a break. And sometimes it sounds reasonable. That's the trap. Because your greatest enemy is not weakness, it's negotiation. The moment you start negotiating with discipline, you've already lost ground. Darian made a rule. No negotiations. When it's time to work, he works. When it's time to move, he moves. When it's time to execute, he executes. No emotional debate. No internal meeting. No delay. Because he realized, every second you hesitate, your old self gains strength. Now listen carefully. Because this is where everything changes. Discipline is not something you do. It's someone you become. At first, Darian was forcing himself, dragging his body, fighting his mind, resisting comfort. But over time, something shifted. He stopped asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and started living as the kind of man who does what must be done. That's identity. And identity is powerful because once you become it, you don't need motivation anymore. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And the same man who once struggled to wake up now woke up before the alarm. The same man who once doubted himself now trusted his process. The same man who once looked for shortcuts now respected the grind. But don't get it twisted. It didn't get easier. He just got stronger. Then life tested him again. Harder this time. Injuries, setbacks, unexpected obstacles. The kind of situations that make people say, "Maybe this isn't for me." But Darian didn't say that. He said, "Adapt." Because here's the truth. Life doesn't care about your plans. It will disrupt you, delay you, challenge you. And if your mindset is weak, it will break you. There were nights where his body ached so much. Sleep felt like an escape he didn't deserve. There were mornings where getting up felt heavier than failure itself. But he got up anyway. Not because it was easy, but because he made a decision. Pain is temporary, but regret stays. And he refused to live with regret. Let me tell you the difference between people who make it and people who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's this: consistency under pressure. Anyone can work when they feel good. Anyone can push when they're motivated. But can you show up when you're tired, when you're doubted, when no one believes in you? That's the test. If you feel this, if something inside you is saying, "That's me," then don't stay silent. Drop a comment right now. I don't quit. Let that be your line. And subscribe, because what you're building right now needs reinforcement. Let's talk about time again. But this time differently. Time is not just hours. It's your life in pieces. Every hour wasted is a piece of your future thrown away. Darian stopped seeing time as something to spend. He saw it as something to invest. Every action became intentional. Every decision had weight. Because he asked himself one question daily. Is this moving me forward or keeping me the same? And if the answer was same, he cut it. By now, he was different. Not just in habits, but in energy. People noticed, but they didn't understand. They called him obsessed. They called him extreme. They called him too serious. And he accepted it. Because here's the truth. The moment you become uncommon, common people will question you. That's the price. Now we reach the level most people never touch. The level where you don't stop. You don't slow down. You do fold. Because now, it's not about motivation. It's not about discipline. It's about identity. Darian didn't try anymore. He didn't hope anymore. He executed. Relentlessly. Every day. No matter what. So let me ask you again. Not casually. Not comfortably. Who are you when it gets hard? When no one is watching? When no one is clapping? When no one cares? Do you stop? Or do you continue? Because that answer is your future. Somewhere, there's a younger version of you. Full of belief. Full of dreams. Full of fire. And right now, that version is watching. Not your words. Your actions. And the question is simple. Are you making them proud? If this spoke to you, don't let it end here. Hit that like button. Not for the algorithm, but as a commitment to yourself. Subscribe to this channel. Because the person you're becoming needs this level of mindset daily. And comment this. I will outwork my old self. Make it public. Make it real. Make it final. Because at the end of the day, there is no opponent, no rival, no competition. Just you versus the version of you that wants to stay comfortable. And the question is, which one wins?